Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back here for another episode of the Pit Stop, episode 36. Correct, Chris?
Episode 36.
Episode 36. With me, as always, is Mr. Chris Garofolo here. Chris, pleasure to see you. How's it going?
Always good, Aaron. Always good.
Nice. And today we've got a very special guest. Really excited about this. We've been getting a lot of requests, feedback, emails, tweets, comments about Powersports and Powersports solutions, Powersports questions, all the above. And, because we have Powersports clients that, have been just kind of, pinging us about a lot of this. And so today we've got Jason Nichols from Powersports Support with us today. Jason, how goes it?
It's awesome. I appreciate you guys marking out some time to bring us on and talk a little bit about who we are and what we do.
Nice. Now, Jason, you are. Can you give us a little bit about your role at Powersports Support?
Sure. I'm one of the partners here, but I'm really in charge of business development. That consists of anything from bringing on new dealers to bringing on new OEMs or procuring new relationships with third parties.
Nice. And what can you give us basically a 10,000 foot view down to a very micro view of Powersports Support, what you do, the platform, and the intricacies of the platform, if I can speak.
Sure. This whole business spun out actually through my brother. So my brother started in the early 2000s working for a particular Powersports brand, helping them with their catalog business, the mail order stuff. And then that transitioned into online sales. And shortly after he got his MBA, he wanted to start his own online retail business doing Powersports sales. And he came to me for basically financing for that business opportunity. And he dove in and, cranked away for a number of years. And it was probably about 2009, 2010, I realized, hey, we're spending a lot of money on third-party tools and solutions to manage this whole business. Some of those tools would be something like Channel Advisor, who's a listing tool for the marketplaces. And, that's a very expensive product. They're taking a percentage of your sales. And then we had this other part of the division of our company that was procuring catalog data. Getting catalog data from these aftermarket distributors was a very daunting task. So we were spend time with staff and, tools to create this data into a structured format to make it usable on eBay, Amazon, the website. And after a few years, we quickly realized that we have basically an opportunity to spin up a new business entity to help other motorcycle dealerships sell more online. And so we found another developer who came in and basically built Channel Advisor for us from the ground up. Him and his team delivered that after a couple of years. And then with the combination of the data that we've already been working on, basically we were able to deliver Channel Advisor, but it came loaded with all the catalog data. And so that's basically how this whole business spun up. And, by 2012, we just had a number of aftermarket distributors that just knew it from the retail side, said, hey, I want this from my dealer. I want that from my dealer. Can you help me? And so that's how the whole business spun out, was, basically recognizing our pain points and realize that everyone else had probably the same pain points, and that we could help a lot more dealers grow their business online.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, obviously you're solving a problem, a pain point there, so that makes a lot of sense. You're making things more efficient and essentially just, I guess, cutting out some of the fat and just making it easier for your clients to to sell online. So that's awesome.
Let me ask you a question, Jason. You talked about, we'll get into the specifics of your platform, but you talked about some of the struggles and the work that went into it early on. And it seems like, between you and your brother, really, bootstrapping it. And I have to assume that there was a ton of hours, a ton of time that was put into it, building this from the ground up. So I'd like to hear about that, because I think it's so important that, our audience and listeners, hear this, because there's no such thing as an overnight success. And just because you get a website up and you start selling, doesn't mean that you're going to start making millions overnight, right? So, can you tell us about that process and some of the the challenges that you faced during that time?
Yeah, so I'm not the most familiar with automotive, but in my conversations with talking to automotive retailers that are selling online parts and accessories, the data that's provided either from the OEM and their aftermarket world comes a lot more structured. There's aces and pies. There's a database and a workflow that's congruent against all the OEMs in automotive, where Powersports is a complete mess. Even today, it's still a complete mess. And so back in the early days, to go get enough information to build a listing on eBay, for example, for a helmet was a very daunting task, because the title for the helmet would be abbreviated, everything's BLK, or maybe it's BK. And then the helmet title is abbreviated, or it's in all caps. And then to get attributes was maybe not even possible, and attributes were like size, color. And then to go source the image was, really tough. Sometimes the distributors would have all this data, but they'd be sitting in different FTP files. So it was just very tedious to go grab each information and stack it and clean it. So just to build one product listing, whether it was on your website or on eBay, it took, let's say 5 minutes to do that.
Yep.
So, it was, like you said, at the very beginning, it was a lot of hours. I mean, most of that time was spent for our own benefit, for our own e-commerce sales. And so once we had a sense of clarity when we weren't working 14 hours a day, we realized that, hey, other dealers are experiencing the same problem. So, we could quickly solve this for, a number of dealers nationwide.
That's awesome. 14 hours a day. 14 hours a day.
Especially the guys on cataloging. That's what they were working.
Yeah. And, I'd love to hear that. And, we have a lot of conversations with, our partners, and, one of the biggest things that comes up, or comments that comes up, is we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to take calls, or we don't have enough time to answer chat. We don't have enough time to take pictures. We don't have enough time to do this. 14 hours a day to, build this from the ground up, starting. And to me, the excuse I don't have enough time is just unacceptable sometimes, and most times, right?
Yeah.
You find the time, and you make it work, right? If you want to be successful in this game arena, if you will, industry.
Yeah, I mean, there is no easy button.
No, I have a no button on my desk here. No. And so when people come into my office, it's a big no. Actually, it's more so for my son. I had to take it away from him at home because he learned some bad habits very early on. But nevertheless, now Powersports Support. What do you feel, or what separates you from the other competitors in your space?
So there's probably two parts to that question, because I like to think of us as one product that we offer is our marketplace listing tool, and then the other product is our website. So on the product, on the listing tool side of things, our competitors are going to be Channel Advisor, Solid Commerce, Sure Done, and all three of these companies are great companies. They provide a lot of value in managing your listings, managing inventory, pricing. The problem is that they're industry agnostic, and that they don't provide catalog data. And if they do provide catalog data, what they're doing is they're hooking up to, a couple of the Powersports aftermarket distributors API, which only provides raw data. It's not cleaned.
Right.
There's no attributes in there. There's no fitment data. And so if you do use a shortcut like that, the experience that you're going to be putting online, you're not putting your best foot forward. Your data is not going to, someone that's searching online may or may not come across that listing because it just doesn't have the right keywords in there, doesn't have the right information in there, it's missing fitment. So by taking possession of a listing tool like PSS, if you're in the powersports industry, you're going to get a lot more horsepower. That catalog data, for taking that, by guys that do come from Channel Advisor, say, look, it's a great tool, it's awesome, it's helped me grow my business, but it is a very daunting and a very expensive task for me to be on top of new products when they come to market. PSS is putting in new products every day from all the distributors in the aftermarket world. So by doing that, you're removing at least 2, if not 3 people from payroll that would normally have to go in there and build and structure that data in a usable format.
I mean, honestly, that seems like the foundation. You should have that first and then think about, integrations and all that other stuff. It almost seems like this is the bedrock that you guys are providing here. That's so important.
It is. I mean, that's really, our catalog data. I mean, yeah, it's public information, but that's really our collateral. That's why we don't hand over the data in a CSV to upload to your Shopify website, for example, because it is, like you said, it's the foundation to being successful online is that catalog data.
Mm-hmm. Now, I noticed that you have integrations with BigCommerce and Magento.
Well, we don't have really integrations with them. What we do is we can put a shopping cart on a subdomain, which you can just link onto any website.
Okay. Because I was curious if that's where they are utilizing the data, right? And from that, but
no, so they're taking possession of. We deliver them a cloud-based application that hooks up to their eBay store, their Amazon store, their Walmart store, and then to a shopping cart. They can use that shopping cart on a subdomain and park it on a Shopify site or Magento, what have you, or they can take possession of our shopping cart.
Gotcha.
How do you see the e-commerce industry evolving with Powersports? I mean, I know on the automotive side, it's just we're seeing data all the time coming out how year over year sales are increasing for people that are buying auto parts and accessories online. What does it look like from the Powersports side? Is this continuing to grow year over year? Are you finding that more consumers are beginning to, purchase their Powersports parts and accessories online and these units?
So what we see at PSS, we see 20% year over year growth. As far as what the consumer's doing, when I sit down and, I fly up and have a meeting with eBay Motors, they see on the consumer side of things are growing. They see more and more parts come available, structured data, it's usable. It's definitely increasing.
And do you find that this is do-it-yourself consumer, or is this, somebody that could be, God bless her, like my mother or, my dad who, isn't necessarily a an ATV person or, a snowmobile connoisseur or whatnot, but if they need something maybe like a side mirror, that they're able to easily go onto one of these websites, navigate, find what they're looking for, and purchase it, or is it pretty much the do-it-yourselfers and people that are very specific and knowledgeable about what they want and need?
It's really tough for PSS to comment on that because we just don't have the buyer's data. Mm-hmm. All I know is what we hear from our conversations with eBay and Amazon. Mm-hmm. Typically, it's your normal do-it-yourselfer, mm-hmm. but the marketplaces like eBay and Amazon, they're beta testing programs right now to pick up the customer that's not a do-it-yourselfer. So right. They can, upon checkout, they can quickly find a local service station to, put that part on or do that fix.
Exactly.
So,
right. Because obviously
installation.
That's a huge, can you imagine if not just the do-it-yourselfers were buying this stuff online? It'd be a huge area of opportunity. Because year over year, just again, from the auto parts and accessory side, it's growing. More and more people are buying parts and accessories online. And historically, it's been a lot of, mechanics, do-it-yourselfers. But if, like we're saying, if it's more of the people that aren't necessarily do-it-yourselfers get into the mix, it's going to be, a huge opportunity. And obviously you'll see it, you'll be onboarding more clients. If, more consumers are buying online, more clients are going to be wanting to sell online. So it's going to be hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of our next update that rolls out next quarter for our shopping cart for the franchise guys is going to include not only will call, but also the ability to, schedule your service appointment and all that stuff as well.
Well, so, that's great. That's a logical next step. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Talk to us, talking about more rollouts and, and this isn't a rollout, but talk to us about the PSS mobile app. I see that allows you to upload, photos directly to the website. How is that? I guess, what are the benefits in utilizing the app?
So, in all fairness, our website offering is new. For the last 8 years, we've only offered marketplace integration. Mm-hmm. So we spent, we basically listened to our customers saying, hey, our customers are reporting saying, hey, we have two choices when it comes to a website in the Powersports world. We want something different. And so we spent the better part of 2017, 2018 building a shopping cart based on those two competitors. And we figured out, what people like, what they don't like. And then we tried to, bring the perfect solution together. And we went to market in January this year with it. So as far as updates, I can't tell you how fast. As we're listing, as someone submits a request for something to help them on their workflow, on their sales side, whether it's deeper integration into their DMS, I feel like we're rolling this, probably 2 or 3 updates out a month to accommodate these guys to help them, both on their parts and accessories and then also on their unit side of things.
When it comes to the dealerships that are utilizing your website platform, I guess how important is it for them to integrate some sort of marketing efforts into that, and I guess what types of benefits does PSS have from a marketing standpoint in terms of capabilities, tools at someone's disposal that they can utilize?
So our shopping cart's going to be a little bit different. My two competitors in the website space, most of their parts and accessories are iframed in to the website. So they're not going to be indexing with the search engine. So by us putting the data on the cart, you're going to have an opportunity for everything to index. In addition to that, we integrate with Google Shopping. And then obviously that website powered by our application can easily syndicate products to eBay, Amazon, Walmart. And on the unit side of things, we syndicate with all the third-party marketplaces, whether it's Shopper Cycle, Cycle Trader, eBay Motors, all that stuff, Facebook Marketplace. But I think one of the misconceptions is by leaving their current provider and coming to us, that it's just automatically going to yield sales, and that's not the case.
Right.
I wish it was. they need to hire a marketing company. This is something that they need to take seriously. They can't do it themselves. I mean, if they're just going to spin up a Google AdWords account and start pushing products there, I can pretty much guarantee they're not going to be making money on that stuff. They're going to be losing money. They're not going to be able to track their CPL or CPA, and it's just going to be a disaster. So a lot of people just need to recognize that they need to hire a third party to help them with their marketing efforts.
Right. I think, a lot is involved with it, obviously. And there's email marketing, there's SEO, to your point, there's Google Shopping, and even on Amazon and eBay. I mean, every platform has their own algorithm. Amazon has their own algorithm. eBay has their own algorithm. I forget which one's which. One's Cassini, and the other one, I think Amazon's algorithm is called A9. eBay, I believe, is called Cassini, and then obviously Google has their own algorithm. So to pretend that you can just put up a website and assume that you can just put any Google Shopping ad up there and it's going to work is kind of being a little bit naive. And so there's a lot involved with it, and there's also a lot of competition online too. I mean, there's a lot of other vendors selling arguably the same vehicles or parts and accessories. So, really having a fine-tuned marketing strategy and approach, I think, is very important. And does PSS have integrations with, Constant Contact or MailChimp? How are your clients able to generate leads and then remarket or follow up with these leads?
Yeah, so on the lead side of things, we integrate with a lot of third parties, whether it's a finance company or get your trade-in value. So we can quickly embed with some JavaScript any third-party forms. If they want to use our forms, we have a form builder. Mm-hmm. To answer your question on email marketing, it seems like most of our guys in the Powersports world, what they tend to do is we send the data back into their DMS, like Lightspeed or Lizzie. And then from there, they will do an export into any kind of email marketing client, whether it's MailChimp or whoever.
Okay. And do you guys have any sort of a cart abandonment, drift marketing capabilities where if somebody's shopping for something and they abandon their shopping cart, they get an email if you've acquired their email address throughout that purchase path somehow?
So we have third parties that will everything integrate. Mm-hmm. PSS doesn't have it baked in.
Okay.
And one of the big things that Chris talked about was, or that you actually talked about, Jason, it was the fact that you have Google Shopping integration, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, all of those integrations, which is huge. Right, because these are all different ponds that consumers are shopping in, and each one of these ponds has to have a different strategy, right? And mm-hmm. to really to be successful, because some people will start with eBay, some people start with at Walmart, and some people just consumer loyalty and brand loyalty, I should say. Now, does the platform have the ability to, make certain updates to each of those individual channels?
In respect to like price and inventory quantity, yeah.
Okay.
So we even allow you can do like fulfillment preferences in our back and set that up. So we're not bringing in the data to the dashboard to help you make that decision. But if you have the data yourself and you have an idea or a direction you want to go in your business, then yeah, we can support it.
Okay. No, it's good to know, because these are questions that we get peppered with about a variety of different platforms. So I guess what's one piece of advice that you can give anyone looking to, enhance or if they're trying to start selling power sports online, what's one big piece of advice that you can give to them?
Don't make your parts manager do this and also work at the parts counter. You need to have someone, at least one person, dedicated to this full time.
So
And you want to elaborate on that?
I want you to elaborate on that, right? But I want you to repeat it again, and because I think it's awesome.
It's so true. I mean, I see this all the time when I have our weekly meeting with our account managers and we talk about what's going on. I mean, typically how I can tell you from our sales side what we typically see. It's the GM or the owner of the dealership calls, says, "Hey, I need to get into e-commerce. I don't know anything about it, but I'm going to take so-and-so from the parts department. And I'm going to put them on this project." And then that poor guy, he's answering phone calls all day long from just people calling in for normal parts, accessories. And then he's trying to juggle getting listings on eBay or Amazon, figuring out which products have the best margin. And then he's answering questions inbound from eBay and Amazon from the website regarding parts. And then he's got to fulfill that order, whether it's going to be drop shipped to the customer or if it's going to be coming from his, maybe it's sitting in his inventory. He's got to package up and ship. And then he's got to make sure he gets on the UPS truck in time. There's too many moving parts for a parts manager or parts guy to juggle both. So I can't emphasize it enough. You've got to have at least one person full-time dedicated to make this successful.
And I bet it's obviously a cost thing. These clients are probably thinking, all right, well, I'll save some money because I don't want to hire somebody else. But obviously, to your point, what's the opportunity cost of, having this one person being in the weeds? Because essentially you're losing money and you're not spending your dollars as efficiently as possible. Because if you are doing 10 different things, you don't know if you're spending efficiently in Google Shopping or if you're getting the highest margins you can on eBay or Amazon. And hiring marketing professional or agency to handle that for you, even in the beginning, as it might seem like, well, you're spending more money by hiring these marketing professionals, but in the long run, it's going to make sense because you're going to be increasing your profit and your profit margins and everything over time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and a lot of people expect such quick results online. That's just not how the internet works.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue what you were going to say.
Well, like you guys do marketing. Google punishes new people to come in. They don't want a new person to come in and disrupt someone that has been successful in delivering a really quality experience to the end user. And then, you got to earn your way into this whole system, whether it's on eBay or Amazon or Walmart or Google. These things take time, but if you, really take time to sit down and say, look, this is where the future is going. Everything's going online and you really want to invest in your company. I mean, what better than just allocating one able body full time to this? After 6 months, you're probably going to be breaking even. And then from then on, it's just going to grow from there. And it's going to open up new doors, new channels to, future sales that not only come on parts and accessories, but also on units. And then also that turns into, more service, revenue. So it snowballs. You just got to be invested in it.
Right. And I think another thing that a lot of clients that are starting to sell online are hesitant about is that online's really a volume game. It's different than, selling at the shop, because with the Amazons and eBays, it's a volume game. It's a world of perfect information. People are price shopping, people that are buying online have 3, 4, 5 tabs open and they're comparing prices. And it's just the nature of the beast. And, there's a lot of clients that are hesitant to acknowledge that because they're so used to, selling things for higher profit margins in the shop. But, higher sales volume and lower profit margin will equal more gross profit in the long run. But obviously it's just a different mindset that needs to be, they need to wrap around their heads.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. It's just accepting the new world we live in.
Yeah. And you talked about dedicating the person, to it. And we deal with that a lot. And as I said earlier, one of the biggest, responses that we get back is we don't have enough time, right?
We don't have enough time.
And we don't have enough time to answer the phone call or the chat or this or that. And we always say, think like the sales department. Think like the sales department. They're answering phone calls. They've got a chat. They're allocating these resources, these different resources to,
treating every lead as important.
Their sales, the sales website, right? And if you don't have the guy and maybe don't have the budget to hire somebody, I talked to a general manager a couple weeks ago, and he said, to quote him, he's like, shit. He was like, these guys waste so much time. He was like, they can be taking 50 to 100 pictures a day of parts and accessories. And he was like, they've got time. I don't want to hear that. And he's totally right. And there's always people in your organization that have the time. It's just pushing or allocating them in a more efficient way and manner. I read an article actually this morning that people that were surveyed at this is in the automotive industry, admitted that like 75% of the people admitted to wasting at least 2 hours a day in the automotive industry.
Well, that's probably 3 or 4 hours, because what they're going to admit to is
they admitted to it. They admitted to it.
Yeah.
So if they're admitting to it just 2 hours, you can find somebody to push this this site or this marketplace onto. And there's a lot of people within your organization that are looking to grow and that are looking for new opportunities. And sometimes you have to create your own opportunities, right? And try to get your foot in the door somewhere. Mm-hmm. And you see these success stories, all over the place of, I started off by washing cars and now I'm, I own a dealership or whatever it might be. But, look inward and, I can't agree with you more, Jason. And you're the only person that we've talked to that's ever said that too. Don't put it on the parts manager. Don't put it on the parts manager. And let them manage the process, but you can't put it all on them. And it happens more than it should. And that's a really, really great point. And like I said, we haven't heard that. We've heard we don't have time, but here's the reason why we don't have time.
Right.
The time hasn't been
right. And then it's just a snowball effect from there, because you have the part managers that are supposed to manage all this, and then they're overwhelmed, and they're like, all right, well, let's cut back. I don't want to do as much volume, but then, it's a volume game online. It's a volume game. And so it's just a complete snowball effect where it just literally, it honestly just, it ruins everything. That's
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is, it is what it is.
And some people have an answer to this and some don't, so I hate to put you on the spot here, but if there's a recent fact or stat, we always love to, throw this to our guests. There's a recent fact or stat that's really fascinated you about the industry. What is that?
The industry, I don't know. I think one thing that we stumbled across going through our data, we basically looked at our top one. It's sort of like the 80-20 rule, like any business is. And so when we look at our dealer base, our dealers are just our top 100 dealers that don't really focus on the website, but focus on their marketplaces integration. They just let the marketplaces do the marketing for them. It's a fixed CPA. Those dealers alone did over $100 million in gross sales in 2018.
Wow.
And we're already going to go above that this year. That number it's a big number. It's just out of 100 dealers.
I mean, that's a huge number. That's bigger than the GDP of many countries. So it's a huge number.
So it's just crazy to think about that. What the possibility is in this space, but you just got to dedicate some time and effort to it.
Totally. And you have to dedicate the time and effort, and there's a system, and you have to be dedicated to it. right? Like you can't just throw up one thing and when I say thing, I mean one picture. Taking multiple images of products and really personalizing and, trying to make your individual products different than everybody else's. Because the last thing that, a consumer wants to see is the same, the same image as they're scrolling down through, 50 different vendors, right? They want to see something different. They want to see something from different angles. If they're holding it in their hands, looking at the connections, looking at the hookups, being like, oh, okay, like this is what I've got. This is what I've got in my hand here. And you can charge more if you do more.
That couldn't be more true, especially on eBay. What we found is, there'll be dealers listing an OEM product or part number on eBay, for example, but they'll just make it generic. It'll just be part number. Mm-hmm. They're not putting in fitment. In the OEM world, one part number might fit a half a dozen different units.
Right.
Yep.
And so if someone thinks they found the part number that they need online, they're searching Google and then they're searching eBay, they're searching Amazon, and then they find it, but in that dealer's description, they're not including fitment that matches the particular year, make, model they're looking for, they may not buy it. But if you include that in the listing, and they know they can buy with confidence that's the right part, and you're right, they might pay a premium because they know that in the description it fits their vehicle. And so you're right, there's opportunity to squeeze out more margin just by having more data in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally. One last question here, Jason, is, do you guys have anything that you can tell us and see, if we can get like a peek behind the curtain? Do you have anything exciting in the pipeline for the rest of 2019 or 2020 that, you can give us a quick glimpse at?
It's going to be, I think I mentioned from inception, our main focus has been aftermarket parts and accessories, and we've been dabbling into getting into OEM about 2 years ago. And excitingly, we've got 6 new OEMs coming on board that are here. They'll be available to the masses here probably in August, and then we hope to get a few more OEMs.
Can you let us know what those 6 new OEMs are?
It's the BRP line. So you got Can-Am, mm-hmm. Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, mm-hmm. and then you also have Polaris, Victory, and Indian.
Awesome.
And I also brought out KTM as well. KTM's ready to fall.
Nice. Awesome. That's huge. Those are huge. And that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for those dealerships out there that want to sell that, those companies that want to sell it, so it's huge. Jason, can't thank you enough for coming on board. We've had the opportunity, we've gone through multiple demos with Jason and his team. We've played around with their tool, their platform. We think it's a great tool. Obviously, that's why we got you on board today. Highly recommend it. And if anybody's out there that's looking to get into the powersports game, Jason, where can they find you? What's the best way to schedule a demo and so on?
Yeah, on our website, there's a link there to request a demo, and typically you'll hear back.
And what's the website? Powersportsupport.com?
You got it.
Powersportsupport.com. And request a demo. Pricing. One thing that we didn't talk about, pricing, and I think that's pretty much it's pretty transparent on your website too.
It is for the most part. We are, so there's the way we have basically an entry level package, which is $250 a month, one-time setup fee of $500, and it's a month-to-month contract. And that comes with a website loaded with all the P&A data that you're approved with. So if you're a Honda dealer, then you'll get that microfiche. You'll also get all the aftermarket distributors that you're approved with. That comes with automated inventory updates, automated pricing updates, and then you'll get essentially a teaser package where you'll get 10,000 listings on eBay. And then we have, for the guys that really want to step it up and go unlimited, we break it off into buckets. So eBay Unlimited standalone is $750 a month, and that also comes with eBay VIP. So PSS is has an exclusive agreement with eBay on the Powersports side to give our dealers a lot of freebies. So their anchor store fee of $350 a month is waived. They'll get unlimited listings with zero insertion fees, and they'll get unlimited listings with free subtitles. At $750 a month, if you just have over 12,000 listings on eBay, it's a break even for PSS, because in addition to our pricing structure, we're not like Channel Advisor or Solid Commerce. We do not take a percentage of sales. We're a flat fee model, and that includes all the catalogs that you're approved with. Amazon standalone for unlimited is $500 a month, and then Walmart standalone unlimited is $500 a month. And each one of those standalone products does come with the website as well.
That's awesome. No, that's great. That's great. Jason, really appreciate you stopping by, and look forward to having you on again later on in the year, where we can talk about some of these new rollouts and new things that you got coming on board for 2020, and what your predictions and rollouts are for the upcoming years. But loved having you on board. A wealth of knowledge. Jason Nichols, head of business development, partner and head of business development at Powersports Support. Check them out at powersportsupport.com today. Schedule a demo. Get out there. Get off your tuchus and schedule a demo. All right. Let Jason and his team walk you through this. Jason, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the time.
No problem. Thank you.